Hi guys, it's Mrs. Sauceda. I'm here to show you how to complete your assignment if you missed 9/24, September 24th for garden class. So if you missed September 24th, you need to, of course, go to our Google Classroom 4B, click over to classwork, and then go to today's date, 9/24. Now, the first thing we did in class is we went to Padlet to record our glows and our grows. So you want to put down 3 glows. So these are 3 things that are positive about you, the school, a classmate. So some things that we've seen today: have good grades, the weekend's almost here, have all A's, I'm able to do the work I need to do in one day, the weather's nice, it's almost the weekend, I've been feeling good. So these are examples. You can look over the glows. Now we have 2 grows that you need to add. So these are ways that you could grow or ways that the school could grow. And so that just means, how could we be better? How could the school be better? How could you do better? So I could be less distracted and more motivated. I need to double check my classwork. I need to go to sleep early. I need to keep up with my work. I need to slow down. Use my time wisely. Finish work on time. So these are all ways that we can grow. So make sure you add ways that you could grow. And then lastly, how are you feeling on your stress level? Some people are feeling very good. Some people are really stressed and exhausted. Some people are real happy, relaxing. Okay, so go go here and do your grows, your glows, and your stress level. This will save automatically after you do it, so you can just exit out. Once you're done with that, I went over the tools that we will be using in the garden, and so you can look over this PowerPoint. Basic garden tools, we're going to go over rake, shovel, pruner, trowel, hoe, wheelbarrow, and hose. So for rake, rakes are for moving debris around. It helps us clean. And there's 2 different kinds of rakes. We have the leaf rake, which has the longer teeth, and then we have our steel rake. We use pruners a lot. Every time you have flowers that are dying, we call it deadheading. You want to use your pruners and cut off the dead heads, the dead flowers. This way new flowers can grow. So we do that a lot in the garden, almost daily. So your trowel, this is a hand shovel, pretty much a hand shovel. So if I ask you to plant a small tomato plant, you would need to grab your trowel or your hand shovel. This moves small amounts of dirt, and you only need to use one hand. So you can have the shovel in one hand, you can have the plant in the other hand, and you can work. Now we have regular shovels that we use on a regular basis also, and there's 2 types of shovels. We have the round point shovel, which is good for digging holes, and then we have a square point shovel, which we will use to pick up things like mulch and debris. So you'll notice the end, the square point shovel. I might ask you to shovel some mulch, you would grab the square tip shovel. If I'm asking you to dig a hole so we can plant a tree, then you would need to grab the round point shovel. We also have a square shovel that is kind of shorter. It's larger, but a shorter handle with a different grip. Next, we have a garden hoe. Now, a garden hoe is used to remove weeds, and it can also cultivate the soil, which means we can kind of loosen up that soil and get it ready for planting. We can also use it to help make our rows in the garden. This is a steel head garden cultivator, so we can cultivate the soil and remove weeds with this. As you're cultivating the soil, so you're kind of digging in the soil, you're mixing it up, this allows oxygen to get into the soil. Next, we have a wheelbarrow. We have 2 of these in our garden, and this is what you're going to use to move heavy things from one place to another. And so in our case, we're going to use it a lot to move our trash from the garden into the dumpsters. We're also going to use it to move mulch from the mulch pile into the garden where we need it. And then of course we use a hose to water our plants. We have drip irrigation throughout the garden, but we've started using the rubber hose to try to control the weeds a little bit more. So we do use a rubber hose. When you're using a hose, it's good to use a nozzle. You probably noticed that if you have just a hose with no nozzle, the water pours out in a large amounts, and it might move that soil around. It might displace the soil. We actually call that erosion. So we don't want to displace our soil so much. So you're going to put a nozzle onto your hose, and that way you can control the direction of the spray and the amount of water that's hitting the soil. This will help you from losing soil and exposing the plant's roots if you're using a nozzle. So the end, that's all you need to know about our tools. Next thing you're going to do, play around with this quiz. You don't have to do all of it because it's very long. It's just a website, and it will test your knowledge on some of these gardening tools. So it'll show you an image, and then it'll ask you, what tool do you think this is? And then it'll tell you if you're correct or if you're incorrect, and it'll tell you the correct answer, and it'll tell you what we use that tool for. So play around with this just for a little bit. You don't need to do all of it. Do at least like 10 questions, and then you can exit out of there. And then just check your Skywords, make sure you don't have any missing work. And if you do, make sure you finish that up. Once you're done with the whole assignment, you can hit View Assignment and then turn it in, okay? Yours will have a turn in button on the top right. Comment with any questions.